Welcome to our reading corner, and here is another episode of Are These Characters Datable? So, last time, the first episode talked about Gotham characters, and now we're going to talk about a more book-related set of characters, and that is Song of Ice and Fire characters, or as the show is called, Game of Thrones characters. Now like Gotham characters, these ones are very complicated and have a lot of issues. So let's have some fun, shall we? And talk about, are these characters dateable? So first, let's talk about Cersei Lannister from House Lannister. Cersei is a beautiful blonde bombshell, and she has set her eyes on the Iron Throne and does not like having to be suppressed by men, even though she loves her brother a little too much. Let's talk about Cersei. So, here are some positives. She's beautiful. It's her beautiful golden mane of hair, but she is also a bit psychotic. She is obsessed with power. You do not want to mess with her. If you do not want to cross her path, But if you are on her side and prove to be an ally and prove to support her in her actions, then she will show interest in you and will not threaten your life. She is also a very loving mother. She's very devoted to her 3 children, who are also the children of her brother, Jaime. So she's into incest. Not now. If you're into that, then okay. And she is also very loyal and devoted. Well, she's loyal and devoted to her family, although she hates her father. But at the same time, she didn't approve of one of her brothers killing her father. Let's see, what else can I say about Cersei? Are there really any positives? Like I said, she's a very loving mother, but she is also she kind of spoils those kids. So, your kids will definitely, if you had kids with her, they'd be very spoiled. But if there wasn't some, power that she wanted access to, like not some Iron Throne, then maybe she would be not a bad choice as far as being a parent. Let's see, what else can we say about Cersei Lannister? Well, if as long as you didn't get in her way, you'd be well protected. Who wouldn't want to be have great security in a relationship, which you would have as long as you don't cross her path and upset her. And betray her. And it's all good. Of course, you'll have to compete with her brother, Jaime. Because they are very, very close. And let's see. What else was I gonna say? I can't remember. But anyway, so it just depends with her. As long as you are on her side, you might be good. It might not be a bad relationship if you're on her side, on her team, and support her. I remember what I was going to say, that she's very interesting, very loyal family who is all about power and will always pay their debts. But except for they don't really get along, and I don't know if you wouldn't want to be there for Thanksgiving dinner, because it'd probably get ugly and very tense. In that, or very awkwardly quiet. Okay, next, let's talk about Sansa Stark. Okay, so Sansa, again, another beautiful woman, beautiful young woman. She's kind of, would be young. She's very young. But she's also very, she is very much, she would be very loyal to you. But she's not the smartest tool in the shed. She's kind of naive. Of course, you can't blame her for her way of thinking. That's how society brought her up. And she's also very good at sewing. She has a lot of talents that are very ladylike. She's a proper lady. But she learns quickly. She's smart. She learns. She's also very clever and very resourceful. So So you have a very, once, or at least as the story progresses, she's learns quickly how to be clever and how to be manipulative. It might take a while now. So I guess she's not really that quick. And she's had experience in King's Landing. She knows how the political system works. So I guess that goes with the whole quick learning thing. But like I said, she's very, she's also very obedient. She would be one of those, she'd be a very good wife, very good obedient woman. She's very, as long as you are kind to her, she will be kind to you. She is really sweet and caring and very affectionate. So, okay. So, I don't know what else to say about Sansa. So, let's go with a male character this time. Let's go with, Jon Snow. Let's go with Jon Snow. So, Jon, what can I say about Jon Snow? He's good looking like the other two. He is also very loyal. He's very loyal and honorable and will do the right thing. Will always do the right thing. But he's also very serious. He doesn't have much of a sense of humor. I mean, he does, but he doesn't show it that often. Of course, I wouldn't show humor that often if I was a bastard. Which, that's the other thing. He is a bastard. And let's see. He is a good friend. He will, like I said, he's very loyal and will always protect his friends and people he loves. And he will always do the heroic, honorable, brave thing. He is willing to be brave and risk his neck, risk his life, which not a lot of people are. He's also very, very loving person. He tends to butt like Sansa. He's a bit naive at times. He can be a bit too trusting sometimes, I think. And to the point of, if someone deserves to die, then, if the honorable thing is not to kill them, then you won't kill them. He'll just find other alternatives. He's kind of like Jim Gordon in that way. That's what I feel like. He reminds me of Jim Gordon. Like a medieval version of Jim Gordon. Sorry, I have to move this because my iPod is connected to my computer. And he's died and he's also, spoiler alert, he's died and come back from the dead. So, but he's still a good, he's a good looking guy. So, let's see. Who can we talk about next? Let's talk about Daenerys Targaryen. Another beautiful woman. A lot of beautiful women in this show. She is once again a good, very loving person. But she's also someone, again, another person that you don't want to cross her path. You don't want to piss her off. Because she's got dragons. Which brings me to one of the bigger things, which is that she can survive. Fire doesn't burn the woman. She is not only a survivor, but she can't get burned. So she'd be good in the kitchen. And let's see, what else? And she's a warrior. She can fight. She's a badass, and she survived the desert. And she's good with horses. Very good with horses. And so is Jon Snow. They're both good with animals, which is definitely a plus in my book. So, let's see. She could speak other languages. She's another quick learner. And she will fight back and defend her own honor. And she's from House Targaryen, like the Lannisters, and she's pretty good family name. And I mean, come on, they have dragons. Of course, the Lannisters have lions, but I mean, I think dragons beat lions. And she's also a good mother too. Although I think she's a better mother figure in at least of dragons anyway. I mean, if she had actual kids, I think she'd be a good mother with kids too. And she would teach her kids good values and how to stand for themselves. Her kids would definitely not be weak or spoiled. She's had a pretty hard life. Very controlling men in her life. And she survived. She's a survivor. And she's just awesome. Okay, now let's talk about Bran of Tarth. Bran is another fighter. And she's very tall. So guys might have issues with that. She's very tall, but she's a strong, confident woman. But I think she does have at least a few insecurities because being told your whole life that you're supposed to act like a lady and you can't be a knight. But she's not considered pretty. I think she's pretty. And she's again another very loyal woman. And a very badass woman. She is all about honor and following the code of knighthood. So she will be a great, awesome protector. She will definitely protect you. And she's very careful with who she trusts. So, you can't put one over on her. Anything else you can say about Brienne? And she's, like she said, she is willing to cross enemy lines and do whatever is necessary to protect the people that she loves, but doing it in an honorable way. So she's like Jon Snow in that way, I feel like. Her and Jon are very similar in a lot of ways. Just a different variation of that. Okay, so let's now talk about Tyrion Lannister, one of my favorite characters. Tyrion is, first of all, he's great in bed from what I hear. He's a pretty good lover, so you would have a pretty good intimate and sexual relationship. But he's also a very loving man, and he will be very devoted to you, unless you hurt him and betray him. And he is, but there is the, now, of course, he is shorter than some people, but I think that his height differences from typical what is considered normal makes him stronger, makes him more confident in himself. But unfortunately, again, with the family, and and in fact, the fact that he's very much what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, he has been made to feel like he's not good enough for his family, and blamed for their mother's death because their mom died when giving birth to him. His sister blames him. His father blames him. But he is strong and confident, and he has a very good relationship with Jaime, or at least he did. I don't know how that's gonna go now, but. And I think he can be very passionate and romantic and very sweet. Like, he didn't, again, spoiler, if you haven't caught up to season 2 or 3, I think. He does not take advantage. He will not take advantage. He is, he will do the right thing. But he's also very clever. He's a lot smarter and strategic. More strategic than his father gives him credit for. And he knows that, yes, he will never be good enough for his family, but I feel like he's a very confident person and very resourceful person. He's also now, one of the major negatives about him is that he's a bit of a drunk. He drinks a lot. He likes alcohol. So and he focuses on the simple pleasures of life, which can be both a good and a bad thing. Like, he can have an addictive personality. I don't know, maybe not. Don't take my word for that, because I would have to look that up. But, Which I wonder if that's if that's true, that in some people that have lots of insecurities, if they could potentially have addictive personalities because they're trying so hard to prove themselves to everybody. And unfortunately for him, he's considered not good looking either, like Brienne of Tarth. Although, who they cast in the show is, I think he's a pretty good looking guy. Okay, now let's go to a lovely Stark, another Stark. That is our lovely Arya Stark. That girl is a badass. Of course, she was forced to be a badass in a very young time when she was very young. But she is a fighter. She can wield a sword, and she's just as badass as Brienne of Tarth, who is a grown woman. And I think she's pretty, and I think if she wasn't so focused on showing that she's a tough woman, she's a badass woman, that she's capable, I think if given the chance, she could be really pretty. She is pretty. But I think she spends most of her time focusing on not being a lady. Because she is a tomboy. She doesn't want to be a lady. She would rather be a badass fighter, be a knight and everything. So that's a bit of, but she's still, she's smart. Another very smart character, very clever. I think she's a little smarter than her sister. And although she can change her face, and, if you cross her path, if you piss her off, again, she's another one that can kill you instantly. And she'll disguise herself doing it so you won't see it coming until it's too late. And again, another loyal person. I think there's a lot of people that are very loyal in this story. And she's also like Dany, she's a survivor. She's lived. A lot of these women, I think, have a lot of these female characters that become survivors in this story. And let's see, anything else I can say about Arya Stark? She's good at catching cats. And she's quick on her feet. She's very, not only is she clever in the mind, but she's very quick on her feet. And again, I think she's a very loving person, but she's also smart. She doesn't just trust people easily. She will test you to make sure you are worthy of her. And worthy of at least her friendship, if anything, and her love. Let's see. Let's go to Jaime Lannister. The golden boy of the family. Jaime is a good-looking young man, although he lost his hand, which is a bit of a problem. And he's in a bit of a complicated relationship with his sister. And that kind of, a sister that won't let go as easily. Does not like people walking away from her. And he is also a badass fighter, or at least he was. But he is capable of learning to be a badass fighter, even without his sword arm, his original sword arm. And again, another very loyal person. Although, if if he doesn't like what you're doing, then he will walk away. If he doesn't approve, he will try to change you. Not change who you are, but he will try to get you to see reason and see that if you are doing the wrong thing. But if he realizes that he can't make you, if he can't help you, then he will walk away eventually, if it's too late. But he will not give up on you for the longest time. If it's basically too late, then yeah. But I feel like he mostly won't give up. He will have hope. And he has a very good relationship with his brother Tyrion. Like I said, I don't know where the relationship's right now. He's also, he's part of the King's Guard. So he has a very, although I think he's kind of lost that title. What else? And I don't know what else to say about Jaime. Okay, so the only downside, again, is he's a Lannister, so you have to deal with the family. His family. A really messed up family. And the question is it worth it? Is it worth dating one of the good Lannisters when you have the family to deal with? I don't know. That's debatable. I mean, who knows? Maybe they would walk away from their family. The temptation is there. Okay, so next let's talk about another Stark, and that is Bran Stark. Bran Stark. He loves climbing. He can easily spy on people and get information from people. Again, another resourceful Stark. He's always had high goals to be a knight. And they're loving. The only downside of Bran now is that he's been selected by the Three-Eyed Raven to take his place. Or Three-Eyed Crow. I can't remember. I think it might be the Crow in the books. Yeah, I think it might be the Three-Eyed Crow. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. So that makes him a little less emotional because he knows so much information. So that makes him he can't focus on the emotions anymore because he has too much crammed in his brain. But he's also a human computer, so he can tell you what's going on, what's up. But other than that, he's a good-looking boy. He's very good-looking. Oh, and the other downside is unfortunately, he cannot walk anymore. He lost his leg after he got pushed, his ability to walk after he got pushed off the roof. One of the castle turrets, because he witnessed something he should not have seen. Those Starks are very wonderful, loyal people. I'm sorry, it's so hard to determine where to stop with this, because there's so many characters. Samwell Tarly. I think he also has the name Samwell. Sam is, again, a very sweet, very trusting, very honorable guy. And he would be a good dad. He'd be a great dad. And he's so sweet and adorable. But he does struggle. He also has a crappy family. I mean, his female family members are good. But his male family members, not so much. They treat him like crap because he's considered the weak one in the family, the black sheep. Because he does get scared, He's a very sensitive young man. He does get scared easily. But, I mean, it's right to be, listening to your fear. Just don't let it overpower your decisions. But, he's also very cautious. Oh, and he killed the White Walker. He is the one who figured out how to kill White Walkers. On accident. Excuse me. So he was able, and he's also book smart. He's very intelligent. He's very book smart. He's very academically oriented. And he's good looking. I mean, he's a little on the bigger side, but I think he's still good looking. I think he's still very cute and very sweet. So if you are a person who cares a little bit much about looks, then, he is, like I said, he's a bit bigger. But I personally think he's adorable, and I would so date him. I think he's one of the best ones next to Jon Snow. He's one of the best guys in that world. Let's see. Who else can I talk about? I think I'm gonna stop there. If you want to hear me talk about the other Stark Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire characters, then feel free to comment below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I hope you all are enjoying your reading, and I will talk to you all later. Alright, bye!